I'm so excited to be here with John Brawley. I'm Izzy Stevens with Indie Spunk and the League of Filmmakers. We're here at CineGear, and this is the incredible John Brawley, DP extraordinaire. And first of all, let's just say,
we have a history.
We do. We have a history. I was just sharing this before we connected, but about 12 years ago,
Yes.
Is that right? Is my math mathing?
Yeah.
12 years ago, I was on a television show for a couple of years, and I would be hanging out on the sidelines, always watching John do his job.
Great show, by the way.
It was a great show. And you were actually, I don't know if you know this, but John was the guy that told me, you got to go to film school. I was acting on the show, and he said, you got to go to film school. You're really interested in this, which is one of the reasons I actually enrolled in film school, and now I'm directing, so it's very exciting. So I'm very excited to be here with you, and congratulations on your incredible success. So you're here talking about Blackmagic and shrinking, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So for Shrinking, the third season of Shrinking, we chose to use as our primary camera the Blackmagic URSA Cine 12-F.
Yeah, bit of a mouthful.
But you know, I've been using their cameras for a long time anyway, and I've always used, even back, in fact, here's a weird little bit of trivia. The very first Blackmagic camera, before they even announced that they made a camera, we used it on QB Blues to show that it did. So there's kind of full circle.
Wow, on some stills or?
No, for some videos, for some of the
Oh, really?
stuff in the water. Yeah. So we were testing it way back then, and so I've always had that relationship with Blackmagic. I've always been interested
On the
in
water. Oh my gosh, yeah.
surfing
Yeah.
scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always had this kind of great working relationship with them, and they've just been getting better and better and learning a lot about how to make cameras. And you know, they've really invested a lot of money, and they've designed their own sensor, which is pretty unique. A lot of the cameras that you see on the market actually tend to use either off-the-shelf or stock standard sensors, and so they've made their own custom sensor, which is a giant expense. Takes about 3 years to go from start to finish, and you don't even know if it's going to work. It's a kind of really interesting gamble.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed the results that you get from that camera.
Yeah.
It's a great look, and they've worked out really well for Shrinking to use those cameras.
Yeah, because you showed, we just came out of a talk where John was talking about working with these Blackmagic cameras on shrinking and showed some footage. And the footage is incredible. It's so funny because the rhetoric, I feel like the conversation on the industry side of things is like, oh, even I had a conversation with a DP that was like, we probably won't shoot on Blackmagic. And that conversation's really changing now.
It is a little bit. I mean, I think filmmaking to me has always been a little bit homemade, right?
Yeah.
We come from Australia, so we've always had a bit of a distance from the epicenter here in LA, where you sort of have to make do or find another way. And to me, filmmaking ultimately is about problem solving.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
No one really, in an audience when they're watching something, they don't really care what you did to get there or what brand of thing you use. They just care about the end result. So I think if you can get to that end result using whatever process or equipment, and in a creative industry, like anything that gets you to that emotional connection to story, it's valid. So that kind of brand snobbiness that's always been there a little bit, but I always think, you know, you're going to judge things for what it can do on its own merits for your own process, or what you bring to it as well.
And the cool thing about this is that you're trying something new, but on a scale that is like a very public studio level. How is the conversation bringing that to the studio saying, we want to try this?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, when as a cinematographer, I always try to be very transparent. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm thinking of doing. Let's get everyone involved, and you walk everyone through the set. So we do a lot of testing. We make sure that everyone signs off on it and is going to be on board with it. You're not trying to kind of impose it on people.
Yeah.
You bring it as a choice, but a choice that you want to make. So I think it's just about managing the conversation and then kind of steering it towards.
Yeah. How cool is that? And you should definitely follow John Brawley on Instagram, because you put out some really interesting, really cool behind the scenes footage that most people don't get to see. So very, very cool. Is there anything you want to add?
Sounds good. Covered it all.
Thank you so much for
Nice to
I'm
see you.
just so excited that you're here.
That's great.
Thank you.